What's up, guys? We have reached the first episode during the regular season of the Bat Boy. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. What an opening weekend. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. We're going to open a brand new segment at the very end that's going to happen every single episode. I'll get into that a little bit later. Awesome first few games. I had a lot of fun watching baseball this weekend. I did travel this weekend. I was planning on getting this episode out on Monday. We had a family vacation, which kind of put a delay on that, so I'm getting it out today. So I apologize for that. From now on, they are all going to be coming out on Monday, and I may have one coming out like every other Thursday or so if something crazy happens, but I'm going to have them at least once a week, maybe twice a week. Watch the shorts. I'm posting those every single day. I am doing daily pitching matchups, which is a lot of fun. I've been getting a lot of feedback on those. I appreciate that. I've had a lot of fun doing that. I love pitching. I don't know what it is. Pitching is kind of my thing. Watching nasty sliders and changeups is just so much fun to me. I love watching the 1-0 games. They're way more fun to me than watching 10-8. Just pitching is my kryptonite. So check me out on the shorts for those, also on TikTok at the Batboy MLB. I also started an Instagram, which is, I should probably know this, but I think it's also the Batboy MLB. So follow me over there as well. Let's get into opening weekend. We have to start with the ABS system. Automated balls and strikes making its debut. Jose Caballero having the first successful challenge in Major League Baseball history, regular season history. It has been, in my opinion, a wild success. Coming into this year, I was not sure about the ABS system. I kind of liked the variable of the umpire. There, obviously, if it affected the game the very last pitch, that's a problem. If he misses a call in the bottom of the third, I don't think that has that big of an effect on the game, depending on the situation. But the variable of not knowing what the umpire is going to do, having to play around that, I thought was part of baseball. Spring training changed my mind. Opening weekend absolutely changed my mind. Biggest moment was in Cincinnati. CB Bucknor behind the plate, the umpire, Eugenio Suárez up with the bases loaded. Bucknor missed 2 pitches on a 2-strike count. I think the first one was 1-2, and then the second one was 2-2. Back-to-back pitches that were also a wrinkle in this. I love the fact that when they showed the result of the challenge, the pitch, that they show the distance off the plate. That is hilarious because some of these balls are so far off the plate, it makes you laugh. They're missing pitches that are 3+ inches away. 3+ inches is quite a bit when you're talking about a strike zone. Anyway, Eugenio Suárez called 2 or challenged 2. Got them both right. They were both pretty significantly off the plate. CB Bucknor was getting very frustrated. The crowd cheered as if Suárez hit a walk-off home run. There was bases loaded. I think he ended up getting out. I don't remember the results of the at-bat. I should know that. The way the crowd cheered when the challenges were successful, the frustration on CB Bucknor's face makes this whole thing worth it, makes this whole thing a win in my mind. Monday night's game, Yankees-Seattle, Mike Estabrook behind the plate. And I think it was roughly the third-ish, 4th inning, somewhere in that range. The Yankees challenged 5 pitches in a span of 2 at-bats that were all, I would say, 1.5 to 3 inches off the plate. They weren't close, and they were all low. So it seems like certain umpires are struggling to see certain spots, and I get that. Low pitches are probably the hardest to call because the catcher is blocking most of that part of the zone. But it's bad. When you miss 1 or 2, it's like, okay, maybe I'm not seeing those ones right. No. 5. And I wasn't sure how the coach-umpire arguments from the dugout were going to go. It seemed like you can't really argue too much anymore. If you don't like the pitch, challenge it. If you lose your challenges, well, that's your fault for being wrong. No. Aaron Boone and Estabrook were going at it. Basically saying, like, why do we have to keep doing this? Why are we challenging pitch after pitch after pitch? Get this shit right. How hard is this? If you see that the low pitches are strikes, call them strikes. You got the first one wrong. Sure. I'll give you the second one. You got the second one wrong. You got 5 wrong. This is a you problem now. All right, I love this. I absolutely love it. I think ABS is a success. I think it's going to make baseball better. I love it. In addition with the pitch counts, or pitch clocks, in addition to the throwing over to first base limit, in addition to the disengagement limit, baseball is becoming much more watchable, much more enjoyable. I love it. I love it. I've been a fan of baseball my entire life. I didn't need all these rules to like baseball, but the new incoming fans and people that I've spoken to could not get into baseball because the games were taking 4 hours. There was 30 seconds in between pitches. It's putting you to sleep. I don't think it's putting you to sleep anymore. I think this is the most fun, the most watchable sport out right now. NFL is getting difficult to watch. I am losing interest in the NFL rapidly. Baseball, I think, is becoming the most watchable sport. The most watchable of the major sports. I know the hockey people are going to come get me. I can't get into hockey. It's just not my thing. Baseball, to me, is making the most improvements of all sports. Okay. We got the ABS talk out of the way. Had to talk about that. It was a historical moment. First time it's ever been in regular season baseball. We had to talk about it. And I apologize if I keep looking over. I am actively watching games on Tuesday while I record this. So I apologize if I keep glancing over there. Let's talk actual baseball, not umpiring. The pitching in opening weekend is the best pitching I think I've ever seen in the beginning of a season. I have never seen more, obviously not shutouts because nobody completed the game, but the amount of starters that had shutout opening starts is absolutely incredible. Listen to this. Listen to this list of starters that threw shutout starts to open their season. Jose Soriano, Hunter Brown, Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Trevor Rogers, Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, Christopher Sanchez, Sandy Alcantara, Chris Sale, Randy Vasquez, Seth Lugo, Emerson Hancock, Chase Burns, Edward Cabrera, Bryce Elder, Landon Roop, Mike Soroka, Parker Messick. Is that 20? That's incredible. Obviously some aces. You got your Skubals, you got your Crochets, you got your Sanchez, you got your Fried. There's also some not so big guys. Your Randy Vasquez, Landon Roop, who I think is going to have a huge season. If you saw my pitching matchup for that, I think that was Monday. I think that was Monday's game. It had to have been Monday's game because it was the only game San Francisco won. So if you saw my preview, I am very excited about Landon Roop this season. But still surprised me that he shut out San Diego in his first game. Parker Messick, Bryce Elder. Like some of these guys, you don't expect to throw shutouts. Awesome to see Sandy Alcantara come out and throw a shutout. Jose Soriano. The pitching. I thought ABS was going to have a bigger effect on pitching than the hit. I thought it was going to have a bigger negative effect on pitching because you're going to have much less flexibility with the strike zone. The hitters, say what you want about hitters. Most of these hitters that are challenging these pitchers know the strike zone. They are going to get most of their challenges right. So are the catchers. They're going to get most of their challenges right also. But I thought this was going to shrink the strike zone, and I thought pitchers were going to struggle. If this opening weekend is any indication of what's coming, not even close. I don't know if it made them lock in a little harder, knowing Luis Castillo in the Mariners-Yankees game on Monday night. All of those pitches that kept getting overturned, pitch after pitch after pitch getting overturned, he still went 6+, allowing just 1 run. It was phenomenal pitching, overcoming the struggles of the umpire, fighting through it. If this is any indication of what the season's going to look like, I love it. I'm not a big fan of the juice ball era. As I've made my opinion clear on pitching, I like pitching much more than hitting. I would much rather I want to see more Brendan Donovans than Cal Raleigh's. And I want pitching to overtake everything. When we're trying to bring in new fans, yes, home runs are sexy. A lot of runs in games are more fun to watch for casuals. Personally, I want to see the pitching battles, the 2-1 games. I love that. Opening series sweeps, we had 5 of them, which I was kind of surprised, and I didn't go back and look. I don't know what is common, but it seemed like a lot. You had some juggernauts, and you also had some surprising teams. Toronto swept the A's. Not so surprising. Miami swept the Rockies. I know the Rockies are bad, but that's a big sweep for Miami. Upstart team. I love it. Milwaukee swept the White Sox. Munetaka Murakami tried to put a damper on that, hitting a home run in each of those first 3 games in Major League Baseball. But Milwaukee came to play. They scored, I think, like 30 runs in those 3 games. It was an outrageous amount of runs. Yankees swept the Giants in a dominant pitch performance that we'll get into later. And the Dodgers swept the Diamondbacks. No surprises there. But something to note. Also, I apologize. I don't really have any sort of... I'm going to come up with more of a outline of what these episodes are going to look like, so they're a little more streamlined. I'm kind of just winging it today, so I apologize for that. Bear with me. I'm having fun, but it could kind of sway one way or another. Rookies. The rookies showed out opening weekend. Kevin McGonigle, third baseman for the Tigers, had 4 hits on opening day, had a big 2-run single in the second game. He looks like he's going to be a superstar in Major League Baseball. J.J. Wetherholt, second baseman for the Cardinals. He also looks like he's going to be a superstar. I am slowly, maybe not so slowly, regretting trading him for Michael Garcia before the 2025 season, so give me a little bit of break. He had just been drafted. I knew he was going to be good, but Michael Garcia was also established. Neither here nor there. I wish he was on my team still, in my 30-teamer. But he had a home run on opening day. He also had a walk-off single in Saturday's game against the Rays. I don't know how quickly a player has ever had a walk-off hit, but I feel like the second game of the year, they played, that was the second game. The second game of a career having a walk-off hit, you can only beat it by 1 game. So it could be a record, I'm not sure. Chase DeLauter, outfielder for the Guardians, 2 home runs on opening day, 4 home runs in his first 3 games. Unbelievable. That one was really cool. Texted a buddy of mine who played college ball with him. That was really cool, seeing the teammates he played with at JMU, watching him blow up. We knew he was going to be good also. And Carson Benge had a home run on opening day for the Mets, outfielder for the Mets. He had a home run. Rookies, just flying out the gates this year. All right, let's get into a few of the teams. I'm not going to get into everybody, but this is also going to be very NL East focused because they had very good series. The Nationals jump out quickly to a 3-1 start, taking 2 or 3 from the Cubs. Took the first game from the Phillies. Today's game hasn't completed yet, so I'm not sure what they are going to end up with. But for now, they're 3-1. In those first 4 games, they had 42 hits, scored 31 runs. This is not the Nationals. I saw a stat yesterday that it took them 34 games to have their second double-digit run performance last season. This year it took them 4. Offense looks legit. Offense is young, fast, aggressive. They look good. Joey Wiemer reached base successfully in his first 10 plate appearance. I think they said that tied a record. That was incredible. Marlins, opening series sweep over the Rockies. Not sure what to make of it, though. All 3 games were 1-run games. Not saying that's a bad thing, but the offense wasn't terrific. Pitching was phenomenal. Sandy Alcantara, 7 shutout innings. Yuri Perez, who I think is going to be a star. This could be a breakout season for him. Won 7 innings in Game 2 with 8 strikeouts. Let up a couple runs, but still got the win. Pitching looks really good. Those young starters, Alcantara looks like he could be back finally after a really bad 2025, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Hopefully he can get back to his Cy Young form. Cy Young Sandy Alcantara is good for the league. And he's very good for the Marlins. The Braves. How often we talked about them starting 0-7 in 2025. The talk leading up into the season was how are they going to prevent that from happening again. And the answer to that is Chris Sale. Chris Sale went out, threw a shutout in their opening day game, took down Cole Reagans, who I thought was going to be I actually took Reagans in my pitching matchup. I thought this was going to be a potential Cy Young finalist season for Reagans. Still could be. But Sale outpitched him. Sale was great. They took 2 of 3 from Kansas City, beat the A's on Monday. Bryce Elder also threw a shutout start. It's a theme. It's a theme. The pitching was an absolute theme this week. It was incredible. Atlanta's offense looks solid. They're not blowing you away, but they look good for right now. And then Toronto, back-to-back walk-off wins to start the season over the A's. Andres Jimenez walked them off on Friday. Ernie Clement walked them off on Saturday. However, Monday's game, we saw the return of Cody Ponce after his stint in the KBO. Was awful with Pittsburgh. Got basically DFA'd, went to Korea, won their version of the MVP and Cy Young over there in Korea. Came back, very first start, went down on a ground ball in the 3rd inning. Did not look good. Looked like one of those no-contact football injuries. He was limping a little bit, then he fell and rolled. It just looked terrible. Turns out his ACL has been strained. He is going to miss, quote-unquote, significant time. Said it's possible he'll be back before the end of the year, but who knows. Really sucks to see. Stories like this are, in my opinion, what makes baseball baseball. Because there's other leagues for you to go to. There's players that struggle. They just come up, hype is high, they struggle, gets in their head, they can't get out of it, they get dropped, they go overseas, get their shit together, and come back. It's an awesome story. You see this guy who we thought he was going to be, we didn't think he was going to be Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh, but we thought he was going to be pretty good. Be a mid-rotation starter for a long time. Didn't work out. Went to Korea, became excellent. Came back, gets hurt in his first game. Really sucked to watch. It was painful to watch. Okay. Brand new segment, obviously, for my brand new in-season The Bat Boy episode. I've made it very clear over the course of these first couple months that I'm a Yankee fan. I don't want to do 2 podcasts or 2 shows. I don't have the time or the bandwidth to put 2 episodes or 2 different shows together every week. I'll work myself to death. I want to have a Yankee segment every episode for the people that may come for just Yankees news. So, for the very first time, we debut the Bronx Tales, presented by the Bat Boy. Yankees had a phenomenal opening series. Swept the Giants, shutout in Game 1, shutout in Game 2, let up 1 run in Game 3, 1 run across 3 games was a record for the Yankees. Their record for 4 games was 5 runs. They lost Game 4 to the Mariners. Cal Raleigh walked them off in the bottom of the 9th to lose 2-1. So over the course of 4 games, they have only allowed 3 runs. Pitching has been excellent. Couldn't have gotten better. Max Fried was dominant. Cam Schlittler literally looks like he might win a Cy Young at some point. I don't know if it's that performance against Boston in the playoffs last year may have unlocked a monster, because he is walking around with so much confidence, so much swagger. 3 fastballs. I don't know if whoever follows Pitching Ninja, shout out to Pitching Ninja, one of the best accounts on the interwebs. He posted a video of Schlittler's fastballs. He's got 3 of them. And they all hit upper 90s. I think the cutter is like around 96, and then the 4-seamer and sinker can hit 100. He's got fastballs he's got a straight ball, the 4-seamer. He's got a cutter that moves right to left, away from righties. And then he's got a sinker that moves down to the right, into the righties. I think I said lefties before. Cutter moves away from righties, sinker moves into righties. All 3 of them are going 96 plus miles an hour. All 3 of them come with the exact same release. Exact same. And the grip almost looks identical. It is almost impossible to identify these pitches. The spin is almost identical. Very, very minimal difference. There was a sequence, an overlay that Pitching Ninja did where he showed the 3 pitches coming out of the exact same tunnel. And then they get to about 2/3 to the plate, and then they all move different directions. Harrison Bader saw all 3 in a at-bat where he struck out, and he looked like a little leaguer. He looks like he could be legitimately an ace, a Cy Young winner in the future. Max Fried looks dominant. Absolutely dominant. He shut down the Giants. I am watching Yankees-Mariners right now. It is early in this game, but he is shutting out the Mariners. He just looks like the Max Fried we saw in April last year. He was a Cy Young favorite through 2 months of the year last year. He's good. Yes. Offense has been okay. I will say the offense has been just okay. Giancarlo Stanton has been incredible. 4 straight multi-hit games to start the season. Now 5, actually. I've seen him get his second hit in today's game, Tuesday's game. Not done. I'm not going to talk about the results of today's games until next episode. 5 straight multi-hit games to start season. Has to be up there in the list of best starts to a season. It is by far his best start. He is generally a slow starter. He cannot run, but my God, can he hit. He can't open a bag of chips, but my God, can he hit. Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs in the San Francisco series, did nothing else, struck out a bunch. He doesn't look good. Even his home runs, they don't look like Aaron Judge home runs. Aaron Judge home runs are left center to right center is where he lives. He doesn't get pull happy. Both of his home runs were down the left field line, like questionable if they were going to be fair. Those aren't Aaron Judge-like home runs. We'll take all the home runs we can get, but they're not Aaron Judge-like home runs. His timing is a little bit off. I don't know if it's because of the World Baseball Classic. He didn't get a full spring training that he's used to. He didn't look good in the World Baseball Classic at all. His home run in Game 1 of that tournament was also pulled to the left, and then he struck out infinite amount of times after that. He just looks off. He looks off. That's it. He'll be fine. I am not worried at all. He will be fine. But he looks off. Cody Bellinger hitting well. He has been solid. Behind Stanton's probably been the next best hitter. He came into the Seattle series. I think he went 4 for 11 in San Francisco. Nothing real damaging, but just a good hitter. He's been getting on base a bunch. So that looks good. The rest of the offense, not looking great. Trent Grisham does not look good. Ben Rice has been okay. Jazz Chisholm has not been good. Austin Wells has not been good. But we're only 4 games in. I don't think the offense is really going to be a problem for this team. I think the bullpen, you like that segue? The bullpen, I think, is my concern. But they looked incredible so far. Incredible. The Game 4 loss to Seattle, the walk-off run to Cal Raleigh was the first run they allowed so far. Camilo Doval and David Bednar look like it could be an absolutely nasty combination in the back of the bullpen. Doval is so much better than I thought he was. And I know we got to see him a little bit last year in New York. We got to see him a lot in San Francisco. The sinker looks, when he has that pitch on and he's locating it at the bottom of the zone, it looks absolutely unhittable. Absolutely unhittable. It's essentially a splitter that's going 97 miles an hour. I've never seen a 97 mile an hour pitch move as much as that one. It is crazy. It's starting off almost middle and ending up a ball at the hitter's ankles. It is crazy how much that pitch moves when he has it on. I can see how he can Fernando Cruz it and just lose control of it, or it gets flat and he just starts getting crushed. I can see that. But when that pitch is on, it looks like it's one of the best pitches in the sport. The Paul Blackburn, Jake Bird, Brent Hedrick group still worries me. They looked very good so far. I know Paul Blackburn lost the game to Seattle. He wasn't getting hit hard. I know Raleigh's single was hit relatively hard down the first base line, but it was, it is what it is. over the course of a full season, that group needs to improve. Needs to be improved. I don't think you can ride with that front end of the bullpen for an entire season. They're going to get beat up at some point. Jake Bird also has a pitch that moves 3 feet. His slider moves like crazy. But it doesn't. He's just not as consistent with it as a lot of people with the dominant sliders are. That's all I got this week. Monday, we will be out with episode 2. From then on, it'll be every Monday, with an occasional episode on Thursday, depending on what's going on. Follow me on TikTok at the Batboy MLB, or subscribe here, because all the videos that I post on TikTok, I'm posting the same ones on YouTube, on Shorts. So check those out. Check me out on Instagram. I'm trying to market this a little bit more. I saw a bit of an uptick in engagement and activity during the World Baseball Classic, so I appreciate that, and hopefully the sky's the limit for this. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I appreciate the new fans for getting into baseball, and any sort of assistance or encouragement that came from me to start that. That's awesome. We will see you next week. See you guys.